you're a fight fan who doesn't care for ground game or a fan who just loves some nasty striking, you absolutely have to watch Karate Combat. The rules of Karate Combat merge traditions of ancient karate with the violence of modern MMA. The techniques are crisp and the knockouts are vicious. The mutual respect between fighters is there, but believe me, these fighters go to war. Karate debuted as an Olympic sport at the 2020 Olympics. The skill and technique were high level, but it had one weird rule preventing it from being awesome. Hit your opponent too hard and you'll be disqualified. In the gold medal match of these Olympics, Saudi Arabia's Tarek Hamedi knocked his opponent out cold with a high kick. Hamedi was disqualified, leaving the unconscious fighter with the gold medal. Karate Combat is the antithesis of this limitation. The point system actually rewards fighters for aggression, which has resulted in some wild knockouts. The rules allow just enough grappling to keep the striking and distance control honest, but are meant to emphasize the striking, as you could imagine. Throws and sweeps are allowed, but single legs and double legs are not. If the fight goes to the ground, they get 5 seconds to land some ground and pound before being stood up again. No knees or elbows, no submissions. Fighters are also required to bow before the first round. They fight in a 21-foot by 21-foot pit with 45-degree angled padded walls that are waist high, as compared to the standard UFC cage, which has a 30-foot diameter and a 6-foot high fence. They fight for 3 3-minute rounds. If after 3 rounds the judges score a draw, the fighters go into a sudden victory round. Title fights are 5 rounds. The production and design Karate Combat is using is completely different than any other fight promotion. Instead of having the feel of a traditional sporting event, they use virtual effects to make the fight look like something out of Mortal Kombat, and it's fucking genius if you ask me. They even held an event as a black tie affair on the 102nd floor of One World Trade Center in New York, creating a high society approach to watching fights. Their commentators dress in outfits matching the theme of the virtual effects rather than your standard suit and tie. This may all seem gimmicky at first glance, but due to the high skill level, the fact that they've attracted guys like Boss Rutan, GSP, and Lyoto Machida to do business with them, and their top-notch production team, they pull it off in my opinion. I mean, can you imagine watching Conor vs. Khabib in one of these settings? It would be so badass. The roster's full of talented but unknown fighters outside of the karate world. Most of these guys and girls don't even have Wikipedia pages yet. I mean, I'm balls deep in combat sports and I didn't recognize a single name on this roster. But that's kind of what makes this promotion even cooler to me, because think about this. What if the best striker in the world isn't in the UFC or even Glory Kickboxing, but is actually a karate fighter that we've never even heard of? Let's review 3 of the current champions to see where they came from. Josh Kahagan is an American fighter from Louisiana and is the current welterweight champ. He's won 13 total U.S. National Grand Championships and was the youngest karate fighter to win the 2 major U.S. national titles. He's also a former MMA fighter with a record of 9 wins and 5 losses, competing mostly in Bellator and LFA. His most notable win came over Cosmo Alexander. Edgar Scrivers is a Latvian fighter and is the current lightweight champ. He's a Shotokan world champion and a European champion. He also fought in MMA and went 15-5, fighting for various European promotions before going to Karate Combat full-time in 2018. He also might have the most electrifying style of anyone on the roster, so if you're going to watch some fights on YouTube, watch one of his. This next guy, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but he's an Irish karate fighter and is the current bantamweight champion. He and his brother both won youth world championships while being coached by their mom, who's also a decorated karate fighter. This guy was also an MMA fighter before going to Karate Combat and went 5-4 in small European promotions. Karate Combat's currently free to watch with ads at karate.com and the Karate Combat mobile app and Roku app. It's also on UFC Fight Pass and certain cable providers depending on where you are in the world. I put a link to their How to Watch page in the description of this video along with the links to 2 exciting fights they have up on YouTube in case you want to dive right in.